Just how strong is this guy? Really? He is absorbing a massive surge of power, enough to shred his clothes to pieces. Even the girl, standing nearby, gets caught in the shockwave. Now watch. He takes advantage of the moment and steals her first kiss. Everything started before he even faced that strange contract. Diep Han felt absolutely torn. If he signed it, would his life finally bloom? Or would he be trapped forever? But when he thought about his mother's bone cancer, plus being humiliated by his ex and her new guy, Diep Han made the call that changed his life. He decided to sign the body double contract for the young master of the Diep family. His father walked out on them years ago for another woman. His mom has been struggling alone, raising him by herself. Now, she is fighting bone cancer and they owe the hospital 100,000. If they cannot pay, they have to stop treatment. Seeing his mom's forced optimism, Diep Han secretly tries to scrape money together. But truly, that 100,000 is a massive mountain to climb. Diep Han tried borrowing from everyone he knew, but it was no use. The only person who could help was Nunak, his girlfriend of 3 years, who recently dumped him. Feeling deeply uneasy, he decides to swallow his pride and borrow money from his ex. Diep Han arrives at a terrible time. His ex and her new boyfriend are busy in the room. As a man, how could he stand seeing this? But to save his mom, Diep Han bites his tongue. The one who opens the door is Latong. Nunak does not hesitate to flaunt that she and Latong are together, and she tells Diep Han not to come looking for her again. Diep Han finally asks for the money, but Nunak just looks at him with pure disgust. You wanted me back then. You couldn't even afford the 30,000 dowry I asked for. Now you want to borrow money? You were poor then. And you are poor now. Despite the bitter words Nunak throws at him, Diep Han still tries to beg for her to remember their past and lend him the money to pay for his mother's medical bills. Latong demands Diep Han clean up the mess he and Nengunak left in the room as a condition for the loan. It gets even more disgusting. He forces Diep Han to eat the trash. That is just way too far. Who does that to another human being? Diep Han refuses. So Latong punches him hard, knocking him straight to the floor. In the middle of all that tension, suddenly, a woman with red hair and a stunning figure appears out of nowhere, descending from the sky. He crashes right through the glass, straight into Nengunak's home. Everyone is just standing there, stunned. Not a clue what is going on. Then, a mysterious man walks right through the front door. No idea who he is, but his power is clearly off the charts. With just one light strike, he sends that big, muscular guy flying. Latong and his friend look terrified. They're frozen solid. Not a single move of resistance from them. The stranger approaches Diep Han and sets down a heavy suitcase. Cash. 1 million in there? Just waiting. But you know how it goes, there is always a catch. To get that kind of money, he has to make a deal. What kind of contract offers such a massive, insane payout? It's huge. And who are these people? Turns out, that stranger is Tutu, the head butler for the legendary Diep family in the capital. The Diep family, the wealthiest, most powerful clan in the world. Their businesses stretch across every corner of the globe, trillions in assets, controlling the very lifeblood of the nation. But tragedy struck a month ago. A heart-wrenching loss. The young master, the only heir to the Diep fortune, he was murdered. If the public found out, it would be chaos. The entire capital would shake. The national economy might just collapse. And that is where it gets crazy. Diep Han looks exactly like the late young master. A perfect match. So they want Diep Han to step up, to be the body double, to take the young master's place, suddenly becoming the heir to a super rich elite dynasty. Diep Han is left speechless, totally stunned. Think about it, if he plays the double, he gets everything, anything he wants. He gets it in a heartbeat. Just one condition: absolute silence. Not a soul can know about this contract. It has to stay secret. Sounds like a sweet deal. Easy money with no risk. Right? But wait, hear me out. The heir was assassinated, targeted by professionals and killed on the spot. A chill runs right down Diep Han's spine. He's hesitating. He doesn't want to sign his life away, but the head butler isn't giving him much of a choice. Sign and rise to the top. or refuse and meet your end. Diep Han is caught in a trap. No way out. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place. Honestly, what does he have left to lose? He remembers Lavi and Gunak humiliating him just moments ago. Plus, his mother needs those medical bills paid. He signs the papers. The contract is signed. He officially becomes the stand-in heir for the powerful Diep family. From this moment on, he and the Diep clan stand together, bound by duty. That redhead is Than Lone. She's the one tasked to watch over him, secretly protecting Diep Han and his new life. The first task Diep Han hands out? Gather 6 specific century-old herbs. It sounds tough. But honestly, for a powerhouse like the Diep family, it's nothing. In the blink of an eye, those rare ingredients are secured. You see, Diep Han planned this all along. He's aiming to activate the heavenly medical codex his master left behind. Back when he was just a kid, Diep Han studied under a legend, a true master of medical arts. Before passing, his master handed down the codex to Diep Han, with one final warning: he had to find these exact herbs, a century-old spirit grass, then absorb their essence. Only then could he master the arts of medicine and martial combat. Because he grew up poor, Diep Han never had the cash to buy such rare herbs before. But now, finally, he has everything. And he begins the ritual. Instantly, a blinding light erupts, swirling wildly around him. The raw power is so intense that Diep Han loses control. It's tearing his clothes to shreds. And Than Lone hears his shout and rushes in. But within seconds, even Than Lone's clothes get shredded by the blast. The scene before them is incredibly awkward, but it's done. The heavenly medical codex is finally active. Pay attention here. This is where his path changes. The codex splits into 2 halves, the medical arts and the martial arts manual. The martial side builds raw strength, while the medical side can cure any illness, saving lives. With the Diep family's resources backing him now, Diep Han is set to become a top-tier expert. It's all coming together for him. Than Lone watches him, thinking to herself, there's definitely a secret here. He isn't just a simple heir. Diep Han hits the hospital, only to see a nurse shoving his mother out. The nurse is acting arrogant, barking orders at them: pay the fees or get out. That's the ultimatum, threatening to dump his mother right out in the hallway. Diep Han steps up, his face turning cold as ice. He tells the nurse he's got no time for people acting like this. The bills are already paid, so move her back inside now. The nurse just flares up, ready to explode. Diep Han is cursing her out. But then something completely unexpected happens. He actually nails the exact symptom she's been struggling with. She's been to countless doctors, yet not a single one could even tell her what kind of illness this was. Seeing he's right, she does a complete turnaround and begs him. She needs Diep Han to save her, so the nurse follows every word he says. Diep Han's mother is stunned, wondering why her own son has suddenly become so incredibly skilled. Diep Han just brushes it off. He makes up a quick excuse, claiming he hit his head and somehow remembered medical arts he learned back as a kid. Diep Han asks Than Lone to find him a set of needles for acupuncture to treat his mom. But Than Lone is skeptical. She's convinced that cancer is just not something you can cure. Diep Han and Than Lone make a deal: if Diep Han actually heals his mother, she'll agree to whatever demand he decides to throw her way. Suddenly, his mother's pain flares up, hitting her hard. Diep Han taps into the Thien Huyen Ydn to soothe her. This medical scripture is honestly on another level. With just a light touch, the pain completely vanishes. Feeling better, his mother wants to head out for a walk. While out, they accidentally bump into a girl named Wei Chi K. Diep Han's mother mentions that her grandfather is currently in the ICU, a room only the super wealthy can afford. But out of nowhere, trouble starts brewing. Assassins move in to kill Wei Chi K. She narrowly dodges, but her 2 bodyguards are totally useless and get taken out. Diep Han and his mom are standing way too close for comfort. The assassins mistake them for Chi K's allies and immediately turn their blades toward them too. Luckily, Diep Han reacts in the blink of an eye, stepping up to play the hero and save the girl. After chasing off those 2 incompetent killers, Diep Han goes back to being his usual lecherous self, staring straight at Wei Chi K. She's furious, stepping up to confront him, but then she trips over a branch and falls right into his arms. She's absolutely livid, but also beyond embarrassed, not knowing how to handle it. She turns and yells at her too. Useless bodyguards. Then, Diep Han drops a bombshell. He tells her, don't even think about breaking through to the next level anymore. She has no idea what he's talking about. But you can see how shocked she is by the look on her face. Chi K heads back to her grandfather. Diep Hai, head of the Wei family, a massive dynasty with a business empire across Jiangnam. Hearing Diep Han saved his granddaughter. Vef Tran Hai is. V Chi Ke tracks Diep Han down just to invite him over. A formal thank you, she says. But Diep Han, he just finished acupuncture on his mother. He doesn't miss a beat. Reminding Thanlone about their agreement, V Chi Ke walks in right then. Overhearing the whole thing, she instantly pegs Diep Han for a total creep. Then Diep Han drops the line Thanlone is his girlfriend. V Chi Ke freezes. She looks actually caught off guard by that. Still, she remembers her grandfather's orders to get Diep Han there. Before leaving, Diep Han gives Thanlone a serious task. Dig up everything on those two assassins. And the V young lady too keep a close watch. He arrives at V Tran Hai's hospital room. This isn't a room. It is a 5-star hotel suite. V Tran Hai wants to repay Diep Han for saving his life. He offers to move Diep Han's mother to a better ward. Diep Han turns him down flat. Doesn't need the handout. V Chi Ke just scoffs, thinking Diep Han is acting high and mighty. If only she knew who he really was. He is the heir to the Diep family of the capital. One quick phone call, and his mother moves to VIP care. Just as Diep Han and Thanlone start to head out, V Tran Hai's condition suddenly takes a nasty turn. Things are looking grim. Despite his age, the old man has deep internal energy. He goes berserk, throwing both of them back with a single blast. The doctor tries to sedate him, but Diep Han stops him cold. The doctor, thinking he knows better, ignores the warning. He insists on following his own protocol regardless. Predictably, the old man's life hangs by a thread now. Luckily, Diep Han steps in, moving faster than anyone else. In seconds, V Tran Hai is out of the danger zone. Wei Chi Ke tries to thank him, but he just ignores her. Just then, Hang Zunak shows up at the mother's room. She really has no shame crawling back here again. I honestly wonder what her face is even made of. It has to be inches thick to pull this off. Nunak acts all sweet, greeting Diep Han's mother like an angel. She thinks she can con some cash out of him again. But the second Diep Han sees her, he snaps. He shouts at her to get out. Right now, she stays stubborn, playing the victim like a pro, sobbing that Livy beat her and forced her away, claiming she was never allowed to contact him. Diep Han has seen this act 1,000 times he's done. Wei Chi Ke was starting to feel something for him right there by Lian. She decided to deal with that shameless girl once and for all. Without a second thought, she flat out declared she was Diep Han's girlfriend. Wei Chi Ke didn't just slap Nger Nak across the face. She went further. She had her people drag Nger Nak out of the room immediately. Diep Han's mother watched the whole scene unfold, and she was thrilled. She had pegged Wei Chi Ke as her future daughter-in-law from day one. It turned out their investigation hit the jackpot regarding her family background. The Wei family was a powerhouse, and Wei Tran Hai was a legend. Back in the day, he'd even served Long Kwok with major honors. As for the attempt on her life that was the Than Dong crew, they were a notorious group of assassins known all across the country. Suddenly, Diep Han felt this raw, wild power surging inside his veins. He needed to find a private spot to let all that energy out. He retreated to the hospital bathroom to finally release all that pent-up force. But just as he was letting go, someone burst through the door. It was just a nurse who had walked in unexpectedly. She had taken advantage of his mother being out for a checkup. She slipped into the room to clean up, never expecting to find him. Talk about a completely awkward timing to run into Diep Han. You really have to wonder about this guy even as a fake heir. He somehow still has all this crazy luck with women following him around. Diep Han went to see Wei Laojia, who kept praising his incredible talents. He even suggested that Wei Chi Ke should stick close to Diep Han, especially until this whole assassin mess was finally cleared up for good. Wei Chi Ke acted annoyed on the surface, but deep down she was sold. Honestly, she was totally on board with the plan from the start. Later, she invited him to grab a meal at a fancy restaurant, but the moment they arrived, they ran into La Vie completely by surprise. And guess what? La Vie was already flaunting some other girl. La Vie spotted Diep Han and immediately started throwing insults his way. He still had this deluded idea that Diep Han was just a loser. He wouldn't stop mocking him, trying to tear him down for fun. He claimed a single meal at this place cost tens of thousands. No way a guy like Diep Han could ever afford to eat here, even with La Vie constantly running his mouth. Diep Han didn't care, he ignored the noise. But La Vie just refused to let it go. He crossed the line and started spewing trash about his mother. La Vie actually had the nerve to say she should just die. That was the breaking point. Diep Han couldn't hold back anymore. He lunged forward and started landing brutal punches right on his face. He whipped out his phone and dialed his guys to handle business. He wanted La Vie gone. Finished. And out of the picture for good. The Thin Hoa group, where La Vie worked, was actually Diep family property. So naturally, they were going to follow his orders without any hesitation. Acting on Diep Han's orders, La Vie hears he is being fired and loses it. He snaps back at Diep Han, telling him to stop putting on a pathetic act. He claims he is practically a legend here, having been with Thin Hoa right from the very start, since the company was first built. Nonetheless, he insists there is no way he can actually be fired like this. But right then, his phone lights up a call from his boss. Wei Dong, Ni Dong shouts down the line, warning Levi to stop dragging him into this mess. From this moment on, he is officially no longer part of Thin Hoa. Levi just stands there, stunned, refusing to believe he has actually been canned. The girl standing next to him immediately freezes, looking completely terrified, pushed over the edge. Levi charges at Diep Han, ready for a death match. But honestly, with Diep Han's current power, how could he ever lose? With one swift move, Diep Han slams Levi down under his boot. Desperate, Levi screams for Tiula to call the cops and save him, but his luck has run out since he is no longer the boss. Tiula just ignores his orders. Deciding she is done listening to him, Levi keeps cursing at Diep Han, who just wants to go grab dinner. Just as they are about to leave, Tule makes a quick move. She slips a tiny note into Diep Han's pocket before anyone notices, telling him to get in touch with her later. She stays low. The moment they get in the car, Chike snatches the paper and shreds it. Diep Han immediately teases her, "You do not want me talking to other women?" She acts annoyed. But when Diep Han suddenly leans in close to her, Chike's heart starts racing. She actually thinks he is going to kiss her. You have to love the tension here. She is completely caught off guard. But he does not go for her lips. That is not the play. He just reaches over to buckle her seatbelt. How embarrassing is that? She is honestly speechless, completely caught in the moment. After grabbing a bite, Diep Han wants to head back to check on his mom. But as soon as they hit the road, a notification flashes on his phone. Someone is tailing them from behind, and they are closing in fast. Diep Han tells Chike to flip on the self-driving mode immediately. He needs them to switch seats. Right here. Right now, even in a life-or-death moment. He is still acting like a total flirt. The guy is an absolute player. You cannot even deny it. Once they swap, Diep Han guns the engine. But a massive truck blocks the path. He decides he has seen enough. He is getting out to handle this. It is time to face these assassins head-on. These goons do not look any tougher than the last pair who tried this. They are clearly not on any kind of elite level. They jump out and immediately brag about the bounty they will collect. Putting a price on both Diep Han and Chike, they are feeling bold. They are being so arrogant, telling them to start saying their final prayers. One of them even looks at Chike with those sickening, greedy eyes. As soon as Chike hears that trash, she completely loses her cool, with fury in his eyes. The knife wielder lunges forward. A single punch hits Chike hard in the gut. She is way out of her league against him. He prepares to strike again. But Diep Han blocks him. He slashes the assassin with a blade and mocks him, wanting a permanent vacation. Chike? Diep Han tells her, "Hold on a bit longer while I finish taking care of these assassins." They swarm him, but none of them can land a blow. No wonder the guild master warned us, not an easy target. One assassin calls out to his partners. They try to set a trap, but Diep Han sees right through it and dodges. The heavenly scripture is active. What Diep Han really needs is real combat experience. And honestly, these assassins are the perfect practice. 3 of them team up to overwhelm him. Too bad for them. He is the one dealing the damage. Diep Han pulls off 2 strikes in midair, leaving them totally helpless, even with 9 lives. They would not be enough to stop him. The assassin tries a cheap trick, pointing behind Diep Han, claiming a beauty is waiting, thinking he is distracted by a woman. The killer tries to bolt, but Than Lone is too fast for him. There is no way he is getting away from her. Diep Han tells himself he only got distracted because his combat experience is lacking. It is not because of any beauty. Chi K coughs, cutting his train of thought short. The blade was poisoned and now Chi K is hurt and suffering from its effects. Diep Han brings her back to the Ling Sun villa. She is hit with a custom-made toxin. Even the hospital would not be fast enough. Diep Han uses golden needles to stop the poison from spreading. He writes a prescription and tells the butler to go grab the medicine. Luckily, the wound is not deep. He uses needles to stop the bleeding. It is shallow enough that it should not even leave a scar. No need to worry about summer outfits. You have to admire Diep Han even in a crisis. He is thinking about that. Supplies and medicine are finally brought to the room. The butler watches Diep Han caring for Miss V so tenderly. Clearly impressed by the scene, they get along pretty well, a rare sight. The butler thinks to himself, glad to see this before he retires. Just the young master being himself. Diep Han pops the medicine in his mouth, shocking the butler. He doesn't even know what kind of poison it is. He just chews the pill, channeling his inner energy, getting ready to feed it to Miss Vei. See? Because he practices the Tianhuan. Diep Han is basically immune to all poisons. Vei Chi K wakes up, thinking he took advantage of her while she was out, but really, he's just busy saving her life. She checks. And yeah, there's definitely medicine in her mouth. She looks to the butler, needing to confirm everything. She has to be sure. The butler confirms that Diep Han did treat her wounds, and that whole thing before? Just him detoxing her system. Though, to be fair, he definitely snuck in a kiss while he was at it. Right then, Than Lone drags in that assassin who tried to bolt. He didn't get far. Vei Chi K is wondering why a pro like Than Lone sticks by Diep Han. Just who is this guy? Really? Please tell me she's not his girlfriend. Diep Han starts the interrogation while things get tense. Than Lone and Miss Vei are practically shooting daggers at each other. Diep Han uses acupuncture to stop the guy from offing himself. Finally, the assassin spills it there from the Than Dong gang, hired by Li Jiahaozeng from the Vunsin group. They were sent to take out Vei Chi K again. Just like last time, the one Diep Han totally ruined for them. Now the gang leader wants Diep Han dead. 2. You have to understand. Vunsin is the biggest group in Ninchou. We're talking billions in assets. And the Li family runs the whole show. Li Haoduong wants her gone because she found out he was faking documents. He was trying to sell off illegal properties on the side. When Miss Vei caught him, he lost a ton of cash. Now he's desperate and hunting her down. Once the guy confesses, Diep Han tells Than Lone to let him go. But Than Lone? She doesn't hesitate. One quick move, she ends him right there. If Li Haoduong is going this far to target her, why doesn't the Vei family send better guards to keep her safe? Vei Chi K sighs, explaining that everything changed when her grandfather got sick. He's been stuck in the hospital, and the rest of the family took control. They even pushed her father out of the way. Get out. And don't talk back to me. Because at the end of the day, you're just a niece. Diep Han does not care about Wei family business. But now that Li Haoduong has crossed the line, Han is absolutely not letting this slide. Diep Han tells Than Lone to take him straight to Li Haoduong. The young lady tries to stop them, but it is no use. Meanwhile, Li Haoduong is busy messing around with some beauties. Suddenly, he grabs someone, and their body is ice cold. Turns out, it is the corpse of the assassin he sent out. Li Haoduong starts screaming in pure, frantic terror. Li Haoduong keeps yelling for his bodyguards. Long time no see. Young Master Li. Diep Han greets him coolly. His guards are already taken out by Than Lone. Ly. Haoduong is shaking, having no clue who these people are. Than Lone steps up Li Haoduong. The Van Sin Corporation you run is nothing but a lapdog to the Diep family in the capital. Yet you actually dare to mess with the young master of the Diep clan. Hearing Diep family of the capital, Li Haoduong freezes in shock, begging desperately for his life. Diep Han pulls out a golden needle, pinning him in place. Li Haoduong is trembling, begging so hard he actually wets himself. In the end, Diep Han decides to spare his pathetic life. But from now on, he answers only to Diep Han. Ly. Haoduong starts pouring tea, acting all attentive and desperate, catering to young Master Diep. Diep Han accidentally spots a photo of Tan Qiu, the eldest daughter of the Tan family, the very girl that Diep Han has truly been chasing after. Li Hao Duong immediately cancels his mission with Than Dang. But even if Li Hao Duong tries to pull out, Than Dang will not stop now, because Than Dang has a mission success rate of exactly 100%, but they have already failed twice now. At the hands of Diep Han. Surely, their sect leader will step in personally. Diep Han looks completely unimpressed. Li Hao Duong starts buttering him up. They met young Master Diep. It is like throwing eggs at a rock. I just wanted to warn young Master Diep to be careful on the way back. Diep Han stares at the photo of Miss Tan and asks why Than Lone never told him about this. Than Lone says the person Miss Tan hates most is young Master Diep. Bringing him to Li Hao Duong's place was just to help him gain a new subordinate. In Nin Shao, he can order people around without lifting a finger. Diep Han walks into the hospital and runs into that same nurse again. He grabs her hand, claiming she dropped something behind. He uses the distraction to plant a name tag on her, just an excuse to get a little too close. Seriously, why is this main character such a total creep? You really have to wonder how he can be this shameless. Diep Han visits his mother and takes her out for some morning air. They bump right into Elder V. Walking with the hospital director. Elder V introduces Diep Han to the director right there. The director is shocked. He didn't expect someone so young. A guy this young. Yet his medical skills are supposedly legendary. The director asks Diep Han to take a look at his own condition. As soon as Diep Han checks his pulse, his expression shifts. This director's illness, it's not as simple as it looks. Diep Han realizes what is going on here. The director is clearly trying to test his skills. After all, Elder Vey had a crisis yesterday that stumped the director, but Diep Han was the one who pulled him back from the edge. Word of that spreads, and the hospital's reputation takes a hit. Diep Han finishes the pulse reading and starts talking. He lists off the exact symptoms the director has been facing. The director's jaw drops as he listens to the diagnosis. He never imagined this young guy would be spot on. It matches his situation perfectly, down to the last detail. The director has run countless tests, yet found no answers. He has been searching for the root cause for ages. He begs Diep Han to tell him exactly what is wrong. Diep Han takes a slow sip of tea before he speaks. It is not a basic health issue. He explains. This is not about the body failing from the inside. He senses something external, some kind of outside influence. Elder V mentions the director is a total workaholic. If he is not home, he is always trapped in his office. Diep Han demands to be taken to that office immediately. Once they arrive, he starts scanning the room. He activates his heaven-profound Dharma eyes to track the source. Now, watch this. Here is where the truth finally surfaces. A thick, suffocating evil energy fills the entire space. Even someone with strong luck would struggle to survive in here. That wicked energy is leaking from a statue on the shelf. Diep Han orders the director to get that thing out now. He knows that statue is poisoning the whole room. Suddenly, someone rushes in to block their path. It is Chu Chen, the director of a medical supply company. He brings in the medical equipment report, desperate for the director to sign off. The director refuses point blank, saying he needs time to think it over. But the truth? He's obsessed with that strange statue in his office. He insists medicine is about science, not some mystical theology. Diep Han isn't having it. He vows to prove his point right now. He claims the answer is tied to that statue and he'll smash it to prove it. If the director's illness is actually linked to the statue, he owes Diep Han an apology. Director Chu, clearly furious, watches as the tension in the room spikes. Diep Han shatters the statue. Instantly, the director feels a wave of relief wash over him. Inside the broken pieces, someone hid something foul that had been rotting away. It was reeking of death, a sick trap left for the director. Director Chu sees his entire scheme crumbling right before his eyes. He's shaking. Pure, unadulterated panic. The director is beyond grateful for the save and wants to make it right. He offers Diep Han a spot as a guest professor at the hospital. He just wants Diep Han available if things go sideways again. He promises a massive reward for any help he gives, even though Diep Han's path requires him to save lives. He hates being tied down. The director tells him not to rush, just take some time and think. Meanwhile, Director Chu gets dragged out and immediately makes a frantic call. He's reaching out to someone called Master Ngui to report the mess. Just who exactly is this Master Ngui character? The master promises to head to Nin Shao and handle Diep Han personally. Later, Nurse Hung Jiao Jiao brings a meal for Diep Han and his mother. Diep Han's mother invites her to stay and eat, but she tries to turn it down. Diep Han isn't letting that happen. He pulls her over to join them, but they haven't even taken a few bites before both of them collapse. It's poison. Someone spiked the food. Diep Han is fine thanks to his cultivation. But the others aren't so lucky. The hospital doctors rush in, completely clueless about the poisoning. The director arrives just in time to see the chaos unfolding. Diep Han barks out a list of rare medicinal ingredients needed to save them. He warns them if they don't find these. This hospital is finished. Everyone scrambles, desperate to hunt down the medicine and save his mother. He's absolutely livid, willing to tear the whole place down to keep them safe. This poison is the deadly bone eater. It kills within 10 minutes. The hospital director finally arrives to examine Diep Han's mother. Diep Han tells them to get the life-saving medicine ready right now. Imperial ginseng, celestial flowers, and bezoar, they need them all. If they can't find these, he swears this entire hospital, the first hospital of Ninchao, will be wiped off the map. Everyone scatters, desperate to find what he needs as fast as possible. Diep Han will do anything to save his mother and Jiao Jiao. This poison is called Bone Eater. 10 minutes after ingestion, it kills. Once the poison spreads, the victim feels like their joints are on fire. Their bones start to rot away, dissolving from the inside out. It's a slow, agonizing death. Then, Diep Han pulls out a set of golden needles. The Academy director gasps. It's the legendary God Needle of Creation, a technique lost for ages, said to be a miracle cure for any illness. True. Ancient acupuncture. It's honestly something you only read about. It's supposed to heal everything, even the hopeless cases. With just one needle, he can't say if the patient will survive, but you can already see the results right in front of your eyes. This art demands so much the doctor needs total mastery of human anatomy. Every nerve, every vessel, understood perfectly. And, most of all, you need years of intense experience. Seeing this in person, I never thought I'd witness it. Diep Han forces the toxin down into the fingertip, just drain the blood. And she's saved. Jiao Jiao finally comes to. But Diep Han's mother stays unconscious for now. She's older. Her body needs more time to recover from the strain. The medicine arrives, and Diep Han clears the room, telling everyone to wait outside. He chews the herbs himself until they're soft enough to swallow. He feeds Jiao Jiao first, then has her help feed the mother. Fan Lone waits just outside the door, ready with the report. The poisoner was a Fan Dang assassin, disguised as a cafeteria worker. They slip the venom straight into the food. It looks like Fan Dang couldn't get to Diep Han directly, so they're playing dirty now. Fan Lone has her people hunting the killer, but their territory is a maze. They're hiding deep, so it's going to take some time to flush them out. Diep Han's mother wakes up, and he heads out to grab her some food. Jiao Jiao insists on going instead, but Diep Han decides they should both head out. He gets behind the wheel, driving Jiao Jiao into the city, but of course, a pack of assassins is already tailing them through the streets. This time, their numbers are way higher than before. The leader steps up. Arrogant as ever today, they're just breaking his legs. He tells Diep Han to take it like a man, unless he wants his neck snapped. Diep Han just lets out a cold, mocking laugh. One of the goons shouts if he's blind, not knowing who Boss Hoang Mao is. You want to survive in Ninchao without knowing the great Hoang Mao? Diep Han doesn't even wait for him to finish. He slams a fist into the thug's face. The thug in charge struts over, mocking him today. We're just breaking your legs, so sit still and take it. You hear me? Don't make us lose our temper and snap your neck instead. Diep Han just lets out a cold, mocking laugh. One of the thugs yells at him, "Are you blind? Kid? You don't know Brother Hoang Mao? How do you expect to survive here in Ninchao if you don't even know his name?" Before he can finish, Diep Han lands a punch right on Hoang Mao. With pure rage, Hoang Mao delivers a devastating, thunderous kick. He screams at his goons to take Ye Han out for good. The whole mob swarms him at once, but they don't even stand a chance against Ye Han. In a blink, Hoang Mao is pinned under Ye Han's foot. Ye Han demands to know who they are and who sent them. Turns out their big boss is Tang Kun, the same guy who ordered them to break Ye Han's legs tonight. As Ye Han speaks, a scarred man emerges from the shadows. He leads over 20 men toward Ye Han. It's clear they're all lackeys for the rich kid, Li Haoyang. Ye Han calmly pulls out his phone and makes a call. He hands the line to the boss, Tang Kun. Who thinks he's talking to his own muscle? Shouting out loud, I am Tang Kun. Whoever you are, Ye Han's life is still mine for the taking. From the other end, a furious scream erupts. Li Haoyang. Take what? You idiot, Tang Kun. Are you trying to die? Ye is my own boss. The one man we absolutely cannot offend. And you're the one who dared to lay a finger on him? Tang Kun starts slamming his head into the ground, begging, young Master Ye. I am blind. Please forgive me. The law family paid us to come out here and teach you a lesson. I swear that is all. Ye Han thinks the only person I know in the law family is La Wei. Sure enough, it was La Wei who hired these thugs. Yi Han gets back in the car and tells Zhao Zhao to keep everything that happened today a secret. As soon as Ye Han leaves, Tang Kun calls La Wei. He tells him there is no way he can offend Ye Han. La Wei is absolutely furious, cursing Ye Han under his breath. La Yang is sitting right there. 2. La Yang is the eldest son of the La family, and he tells La Wei to join him at the internal conference of the Ningzhou Chamber of Commerce to learn a few things. Ye Han, meanwhile, is on his way to drop Zhao Zhao off, but gets ambushed. He has finally run into a real expert this time. Even so, the attacker is no match for Ye Han. In fact, the assassin ends up seriously wounded by Ye Han's counter. Back home, Ye Han tells Qing Luan to get the car repaired, and there is something else. The president of the Ningzhou Chamber of Commerce knows Ye Han is in town, so he invites him to attend the trade conference tomorrow. Diep Han needs to step up, stabilize the situation, and reassure everyone. He's on edge. Right now, he's barely at the body tempering stage. If he runs into a transcendent realm expert, it's a suicide mission. 9 chance to die. Only 1 to survive. Those assassins today were just too fast, couldn't even catch them. Looks like it's time to push his cultivation to the next level. Diep Han finds a quiet spot to lock in and boost his power. The Zhuangtian Fist is no joke, absolute top-tier technique, combined with the Tianhuyan Martial Sutra. His strength is surging. He's easily gained at least 30% more power already. Fan Lone sent 2 guards to protect his mother, so he can focus. She senses it too, his strength is climbing again. Diep Han barely arrives at the conference before running into La Wei. La Wei is stunned of all places. He's at the Ningzhou Commerce Association? Everyone here is a big shot. A real heavy hitter in the industry. What does a nobody like Diep Han think he's doing here? Diep Han stays calm, says he was invited by the association president himself. La Wei just laughs in his face. It's pathetic. President Tran Thien Ha? A true titan of industry. He owns 10 massive companies, controlling half of Ningzhou. Would he really invite some broke kid like Diep Han? No way. Diep Han doesn't even blink, just lets the insults slide right off. He tries to walk in, but La Wei steps up, trying to block him. Big mistake. Diep Han drops him with 1 clean hit. La Wei goes down hard, sprawled out on the floor, totally humiliated. Hitting La Wei in front of everyone? That's a direct slap to the La family. Diep Han heads to the entrance, but 2 guards step in his way. But then the president himself walks out to greet him personally. He warns his men anything involving Master Diep stays absolutely secret. Diep Han is inside, but he really isn't here to play politics. He just wants to sit off to the side and listen in. Being a young master is way harder than it looks. Thought it would be all travel and fun, but it's pure stress. Now he's stuck here, having to deal with all this heavy business talk. He sits behind a screen, listening as they hash out the details. The whole meeting is focused on the Diep family investments in Ningzhou. The room is buzzing, everyone fighting for a piece of the pie. The La family is the frontrunner here, everyone's favorite to win. With Le Duong at the helm, they're dead set on securing that capital. Then he follows up with another brutal strike. The summit today is all about the Diep family's investments in Ningzhou. At the meeting table, everyone is whispering, buzzing with excitement. The La family is seen as the top contender by everyone here. They are the most likely to land that massive Diep family investment, all thanks to the leadership of La Duong. Bringing La Wei along turned out to be a massive mistake from the start. La Wei tried his best to sway the president, desperate to make it work. He had no idea the person holding all the cards wasn't listening. The real decision maker, his absolute, bitter rival, it was Diep Han. Diep Han didn't even hesitate. He flatly refused the proposal. He wouldn't give a single cent to the La family. Not one. La Duong begged to know what they did wrong. But Diep Han was blunt. He just said he couldn't stand the sight of La Vi. La Duong slapped La Vi right across the face in front of everyone. He promised to kick La Vi out of the family if that was the price. Anything to get Diep Han to give them one more chance. La Vi was stunned. He never even offended the Diep family before. His only conflict was with Diep Han. But he couldn't get near him. Just as he tried to rush in, guards cut him off instantly. The president ordered them to drag La Vi out and strike the family name. The La family was officially out of the business association. But watch this. There was a bigger game being played behind the scenes. Someone wanted to stop Wei Chi from winning the commercial plaza. The Ningzhou event was approaching. And they were desperate. They had clearly bribed President Tran to rig the whole thing. Diep Han suspected the Wei family was pulling the strings. Fan Lone explained that Wei Chanhai had 4 sons to manage. The oldest was a big-time official. The second was a military man. Only the third and fourth sons were out there playing in the markets. Wei Chi was the daughter of that third son. Wei Bang. It was clear Wei Chanhai's life wasn't as peaceful as it looked. Diep Han picked up some food and headed back to the hospital for his mom. Jiao Jiao happened to be there too. So he invited her to eat. Once she finished, Jiao Jiao started looking really drowsy. Diep Han told her to just get some rest while he watched his mom. Seeing how exhausted she was, he offered to give her a massage. Honestly, he really knows how to treat all the ladies in his life. He was even thoughtful enough to leave a note for her before he left. Now, Diep Han and Thon Lone are tracking down the poisoner. They found the assassin's hideout. He hadn't even left the area yet. Than Lone figured he was sticking around because the poison didn't work. Diep Han looked furious if he didn't want to leave. He could stay forever. The killer was holed up in a villa way out in the suburbs. Than Lone warned him there were probably plenty of traps inside. It was a 3-story mansion with heavy iron gates. They were definitely not dealing with just one amateur tonight. Meanwhile, the assassin hides out in a mansion on the edge of town. Thon Lone suspects this place is guarded by way too many people. It is a 3-story villa. Totally isolated. Behind heavy iron gates. Heavy surveillance. These guards aren't playing around. This has to be their hideout. No doubt about it. We found them. Suddenly, a blast rips through the air, drawing their focus away. 2 killers charge out, desperate to stop Diep Han and Than Lone, but they aren't going to make it inside that easily. Their methods are pretty ruthless. But honestly, they're way out of their league. These guys aren't even a challenge for them. Diep Han and Than Lone push past them, heading deep inside. Trio back. The deputy leader of the Than gang is already waiting. He thinks Diep Han just walked right into a trap. The guy has no clue he's the one actually about to get hooked. Diep Han doesn't even hesitate. Flicking a single needle, the poison-wielding assassin drops dead in an instant. Trio back looks smug, mocking Diep Han for his lucky break. He thinks Diep Han just got lucky winning that million. Completely oblivious, he has no idea Diep Han is the young master of the Diep family now. Looks like the Diep family scrubbed all the intel clean. Trio back doesn't know a thing about who he's really facing. Triubak asks if Diep Han has any last words, then signals his men. He orders them to charge. But honestly, this whole group? Than Lone handles them without even breaking a sweat. In seconds, the entire crew is wiped out. Diep Han steps up, with raw power. He snaps Triubak's arm like a twig. He tells the guy to pass a message to their gang leader. Tell him to start picking out his own coffin. When the leader hears that, he loses it pure, unadulterated rage. He immediately calls for every single assassin in the Ninchao branch. The leader plans to hunt Diep Han down personally. Word gets out, and Lavai is absolutely thrilled. He's been waiting for this. He's been dying to see this day finally arrive. Over at the Lai family, they figure messing with the Diep family was a huge mistake. But for the Wei family, Wei Chike is losing her mind. She's terrified, absolutely frantic. She rushes to the hospital, desperate to check on Diep Han's condition. Meanwhile, Nin Sat, then the gang leader, makes a public threat. He announces to all of Nin Chao that he's coming for Diep Han's life. Wei Chike ignores her own severe injuries. Sprinting to find him, she has to warn him the Thon gang leader is no joke. She's so worried about his safety. She barely registers her own pain. Between the stress and those heavy wounds, she completely crashes. She passes out, falling right into Diep Han's arms. After Diep Han works his healing magic, she finally starts coming to. He's so gentle, telling her to just rest and stop stressing out. It's only going to hurt her recovery, he says, looking up at the starry sky. Vichi case starts to open up. She just wants to be free, no more worries. No more weight. But those thoughts drift away. Pulled back to the harsh reality. The business auction at Ningzhou Plaza is coming up fast. Her mind snaps to it. Since her grandfather fell ill, everything changed. Wei Jixi's fourth uncle stepped in. Grabbing all the family deals, he's systematically stripping away their influence. Bit by bit, the family's power is spiraling a total, uncontrolled nosedive. No way is she letting him snatch this project away. 2. She refuses to let her own family crush her like this. Down at the plaza, everyone is buzzing about the powerful Ye family. They are whispering, desperate to know what Ye Han actually looks like. Yi Han and Wei Jixi arrive together at Longhai Hotel. Hundreds of eyes lock onto them, full of curiosity and greed. Everyone is dying to uncover the truth about who he is. Ye Han runs into Wei Jixi's father and her fourth uncle. The uncle immediately blocks him, cutting him off cold. He refuses to let Ye Han sit at their table. He sneers. Ye Han isn't part of the Wei bloodline. Yi Han stays calm and points out the man's hidden symptoms. The old man turns pale, shaking with a mix of shock and rage. Then, Wei Jixi's father catches a glimpse of the guest. Wait, this is the master who saved his own father. Ye Han calmly confirms it. Yes. He is a doctor. Recognizing him, the third uncle panics. Tripping over his own apology, he scrambled to arrange a seat, practically begging Ye Han to sit. Yi Han glances at Wei Zheng, giving him a grim warning. Watch your health, he says, or the worst could happen. The uncle hates admitting it, but he asks for a checkup. Yi Han is cold. Only he can cure this illness. The price is steep, 10 million pay up. And he starts. He'll examine him right now. No waiting around. The uncle explodes, calling him arrogant, completely out of line. But he's stuck. He can't actually do a thing to Ye Han. The auction kicks off, and the staff brings out the feast. Suddenly, the room hushes. Master Wei has finally arrived. People start whispering about his legendary medical skills and his reach. As he walks in, the energy in the room shifts completely. Wei Zheng scrambles, rushing to give Master Wei the seat of honor. Ye Han just watches, then scoffs. That master looks like a total fraud. Wei Zheng is terrified, practically trembling with fear of being rude. He begs the master to check his pulse right away. Unlike Ye Han, Master Wei claims his pulse is perfectly fine. He says it's just exhaustion from work, nothing serious at all. Just stress, he insists. That's why the body feels weak. Ye Han lets out a sharp laugh. That master is just a joke. The disease in Wei Tran's bones has clearly festered for a long time. Externally, it just looks like exhaustion, but deep down it is serious. The crowd at the assembly is furious. Master Nai has been insulted. They want to throw Diep Han out, but Master Nai stops them. He realizes Diep Han is tied to that broken Guanyin statue incident. Master Ngai challenges Diep Han to a public medical duel right now. They will diagnose Wei Tran. Whoever identifies the true illness wins. Whoever gets the treatment right wins the whole bet. Plain and simple. If Diep Han loses, he has to kneel and apologize to Master Ngai. Diep Han takes the bet, but adds a condition of his own. If the master loses, he must kowtow 3 times and call Diep Han father. Master Nai and Wei Tran suspect the kid is just acting brave. Just a newborn calf not afraid of the tiger. They think. Master Ngai sticks to his usual prescription tat duong powder. He plans to combine it with other herbs to treat the body from the root. Wei Tran nods along, fully trusting the master's expert diagnosis. Now it is Diep Han's turn, and he uses a technique that freezes Wei Tran. He cannot move a muscle. Then Diep Han delivers a sudden, heavy blow. Wei Tran coughs up blood. The strike, exposing the rot inside him. That single punch brought all the inner decay to the surface. Diep Han explains his move, pointing out the cold, hard truth. The master's prescription only hides the symptoms, making things worse. The medicine was actually masking the illness, letting it grow deeper. Master Ngai checks the pulse again and turns pale. It is deep in the bones. He is shocked, completely humbled by Diep Han's superior medical skill. Wei Tran's attitude flips instantly, and he begs for a real cure. Diep Han agrees to help, but he has a very specific price. Wei Tran must return every single asset he stole from Wei Qi. The wealth is massive, and it clearly hurts to give it up. Wei Tran hesitates. He really does not want to lose his fortune. Suddenly Master Guy kneels and kowtows, admitting total defeat. He wants to leave immediately, leaving everyone in the hall stunned. Before going, the master tells Diep Han where to find him. Just look for him at the Teen High Market if he ever needs help. The whole crowd finally sees Diep Han's true medical mastery. Now everyone is scrambling, wanting him to check their own health. Diep Han has no interest in playing doctor for them anymore. He turns them all away, leaving them disappointed. Vi Chi is amazed. Diep Han reassures her she is definitely winning this bid. Vi Tran laughs it off, mocking her lack of experience. He claims she has no chance of being the top choice here. Just then, the president drops a bombshell on the room. A young master from the capital is watching their every move. Every action taken today will decide who walks away with the bid. Everyone is on edge, wondering who this mysterious Diep master really is. Everyone's waving their bid signs, dying to win the project. The tension in the room? Absolutely through the roof. But Wei Chi stays quiet, holding back. Diep Han notices and asks why. She lets out a heavy sigh. The scale of this deal is just massive, compared to the giants here. Her experience just doesn't measure up. Wei Tran chimes in with fake sympathy, saying showing up is enough, just participating. He mocks that's good enough for her. That sting is exactly what she needed. Something snaps inside her. Wei Chi lifts the Bang Phi Corporation sign high determined. Diep Han makes the call. She's the one. He's choosing her. The auction ends. Everyone's whispering, stunned by the result. Everyone knows that whoever lands this project, they're set for life. Wei Tran is grinning, totally convinced that the win is his. Then the announcement drops. Bang Phi Corporation takes the bid. The room goes dead silent. You could hear a pin drop. People are already whispering, doubting Bang Phi's real strength. Wei Tran loses it, shouting at Chairman Trun, on what grounds? The chairman turns the tables, staring Wei Tran down. Who gave him the right to question Diep Han's decision? Wei Tran pales, biting his tongue before storming out in a rage. Wei Chi is glowing, barely believing this actually happened. Over at the hospital, Diep Han's mother is showing real improvement. In a few months, she should be completely recovered. Than Lone cracks the door open to bring him some news. Than Dong is moving to strike soon. Diep Han has to be ready. He needs to show his face at Tan Kio's birthday party, to make sure he doesn't slip up. Than Lone takes charge. She's going to train him herself. No mistakes allowed. In the training room, she demands his total focus. He needs to master the etiquette and social tricks of the elite. Being the heir to the Diep family isn't just a title. Diep Han isn't listening, he's too busy staring at her. She catches his wandering eyes and snaps, voice cold as ice. She forces him to practice his posture and dance moves. They work through it. But one wrong step changes everything. Tang Lan trips, crashing right into him on the floor. The world stops. Their lips lock in total silence. For a split second, a wild thought flashes through her mind. Is this really what it feels like? Could this be happiness? She snaps out of it, logic slamming back into place. Her hand swings up, ready to slap him across the face. Then she remembers To Lao's warning, don't lay a finger on him. She forces her hand down, burying the rage deep inside. Diep Han is lost, he has no idea what gift to bring. Then he remembers. Dunkyo. Right, she loves the piano. Since it was for the piano performance, Than Lone prepped 3 whole days of training. Diep Han worked so hard he was moving like a pro dancer out there. Everything was going to plan. Than Lone had already sorted out the details. She booked the private jet to fly into Teen High Market by tomorrow. All for Diep Han. The next morning, Diep Han was staring out the window at the clouds. Then suddenly, a sharp blade pressed right against his throat. It was the leader of the Than Dang group, Nin Satain, from Nin Cho. They threatened Diep Han and Than Lone, telling them not to move a muscle. One wrong step, and they would kill Diep Han right on the spot. Nin Sat Than lunged forward, grabbing Diep Han by the neck. He barked orders at his men to go and capture Than Lone. But these low-level thugs, they were nowhere near Than Lone's level. She and another guard handled business in a heartbeat. They took down every single one of Nin Sat Than's assassins. While the guy was distracted, Than Lone pulled out a golden needle. She struck deep into the nerve cluster on his arm. Nin Sat Than let out a scream, and Than Lone followed up with a kick. He went down hard, face first, right in front of Diep Han. The guy had no idea he'd just walked into a trap. This was all a setup by Diep Han to lure him out. Everyone else on this plane? Just Diep Han's personal bodyguards in disguise. Slowly, the reality hit the guy. This was the real young Master Diep. He started groveling, begging for mercy. But it was way too late. Diep Han gave the signal, and the guards dragged him off to be dealt with. Diep Han gave Than Lone a quick nod for her solid work today. Than Lone figured since the Than Dang forces in Ninchao were finished, the whole group would probably lie low for a while now. They were playing it safe for the time being. Half an hour left until they touched down at Tianhai Airport. The Tan family would be waiting. And Than Lone handed him a change of clothes. Time to suit up and step back into his role as the true young Master Diep from the capital. At the terminal, a young lady stood there, radiating this incredibly arrogant, elite energy. You could tell she was annoyed, clearly fed up with waiting for him. Her guards were nearby, whispering among themselves about the guy, saying this young Master Diep was actually just a useless, spoiled brat. They warned her not to let him take advantage of her. Diep Han and Than Lone walked out, ready to meet Tan Q. Diep Han took one look and thought she really is a total beauty. No wonder the original young Master Diep was so obsessed. He spent his whole life chasing after her. Diep Han tried to invite Tan Q out to eat, but she shut him down. Honestly, she wasn't even his type. Not at all. But the play had to go on. So he kept up the act, pursuing her while posing as the young Master Diep. Than Lone warns him that the old young master already ran off. Following Tan Q, he uses sweet talk to coax her when she acts cold. Diep Han shoves her away. He is not the old young master anymore. Tan Q makes excuses about being busy and not finding a car. She gives Diep the young master a dirty, beat-up vehicle instead. Diep Han has no other choice. He just has to get inside. He climbs into that rusted car. Tan Q feels something is off. This young master is not the same, but she is too focused on her own goals for the day. Her plan? Simple. Make the young master lose all his face, right there in front of everyone at the party. At the banquet, the crowd whispers about the young master. They call him trash, mocking that failed 500 million investment. Diep Han realizes the Diep name carries weight with normal people, but in the upper circles, it means nothing yet. To get any respect, he needs actual power. Hard, real strength. Diep Han grabs a wine glass, takes a sharp, steady sip. He cuts through the noise of his own thoughts. The party begins. Than Lone nudges Diep Han to find Tan Q. Everyone watches, ready to mock his lack of grace on the floor. Tan Q refuses him point blank. She will not dance with him. Not tonight. Not ever. Mock Than Fong, the mock family heir, sweeps Tan Q onto the floor. Suddenly, Diep Han gets an invitation to dance. He looks back at his Than Lone. To stop the press from framing the Diep family as humiliated, Diep Han and Than Lone step out together. They dance while the whole room stares in silence. Diep Han cannot stand Tan Q's attitude anymore. He tells Than Lone he is done chasing after her. Their performance on the dance floor leaves the guests stunned. Everyone in the room is speechless. Mock Than Fong announces it is time to offer birthday gifts. He presents his prize, a glass piano, custom-made, a Lansky masterpiece. There is only one in the entire world. 20 million. That is what he paid at the auction house. Mock Than Fong smirks, turning his focus to the Diep heir. He asks what gift the Diep family brought for Miss Tan, something that finally matches their supposed power. Right? Diep Han reveals his move. He brought a true legend, the international piano master who played the glass piano at the expo. He is here now, ready to play a song composed just for tonight. A piece created specifically for this party. She glows with pride, thinking the song was written for her. Diep Han drops a bombshell on everyone. He is officially done. No more chasing Tan Q. And this song he is about to sing? It is a special gift for the girl right beside him. Tan Lon. Tan Q storms out in total shame, while Than Lone blushes, thanking him. The whole crowd is buzzing, cheering for the happy couple. Seriously, seeing them together looks completely different from all those rumors. People are finally starting to believe in them. Inside, a private room, Than Lone and Diep Han talk strategy. Once word of his return hits the news tomorrow, things get dangerous. Enemies in the shadows will start moving to execute their plans. They cannot stand the fact that the young master survived. Lao adds that these attackers are not just outside enemies. The real threat is coming from within the Diep family itself. Diep Han feels the weight of it. The corporate world is cutthroat. Suddenly, his phone rings with some devastating news. The father of Wei Chi Ke has been in a terrible accident. Diep Han rushes to the hospital as fast as he can. Wei Chike is sobbing, clinging to him for dear life. She keeps repeating that a mysterious vehicle intentionally smashed into his car. Now, she is completely helpless and cannot manage her project. Her father is in danger. Plus, she has another major problem. The investment capital from the Diep family is not meant for her. She simply does not have enough leverage to secure that kind of money. Diep Han comforts her, he says, to leave the stress to him. After Wei Chike leaves, Thanlone drops a bombshell of her own. She is certain the accident was an inside job. Though they lack evidence, Thanlone hands over info on the man in charge of funding, Chu Han Thien. He is the target Diep Han needs to investigate. Chu Han Thien is arrogant, acting like he owns the place. He barely listens to Diep Han. Looking down on him, he keeps mocking him, saying he is not the real family head. Diep Han hangs up, clearly deep in thought about his next move. He has an idea. But first, Wei Chike needs that capital. Getting her the money she needs is his top priority right now. Diep Han quickly writes up a list and hands it to Thanlone. He tells her to find these materials immediately. The very next day, he gets to work in the lab. Using those items, he brews a unique, potent medicinal wine. It is a powerful health tonic designed to restore male vitality. He gives the formula to Wei Chike for mass production. This could be the breakthrough she needs to secure the investment. Overjoyed, she gives him a quick peck on the cheek. But for Diep Han, that is not enough. He pulls her in closer. They share a deep, intense kiss before finally pulling apart. But the tension remains, as she still needs one final, rare ingredient. The white liquor has to be bought from the main supplier. The biggest medicine wholesaler in Ninchao is Triyu Dong. The next day at Triyu Dong, Diep Han is suddenly shocked. He hears a man asking for a herb called Lang La leaf. He is pushing it on Mr. Triyu. Mr. Triyu refuses because he knows that herb has vanished. The man tries hard to convince him with a massive payout. Under that pressure, it is nearly impossible for anyone to resist. Mr. Triyu almost signs a contract for 1 million right there, but Diep Han steps in just in time to stop him. Diep Han asks Mr. 22 Triyu for permission to check the leaf. He spots the fake immediately. The surface is all wrong. It lacks the signature silk pattern of the real Lang La. Mr. Triyu is furious once he realizes he almost got scammed. He kicks the guy out and sends him straight to the police. Mr. Triyu thanks Diep Han, but Diep Han needs a favor. Mr. Triyu looks terrified at the mention of Chu Han Thien. He shuts Diep Han and Wei Chike down immediately. Diep Han drops a bold offer. What if he cures him? If he fixes his sickness, could he reconsider the deal? Mr. Triyu flat out denies that he even has a sickness. But Diep Han already diagnosed him with just one glance. Now it is all about self-interest for Mr. Triyu. If he gets better, he agrees to go all in for Diep Han. Diep Han hands him a bottle of his own special liquor. It is a formula he invented himself. Mr. Triyu finishes the whole bottle. The effect hits instantly. He feels completely revitalized and full of raw energy. He offers 10 million and agrees to invest in the factory. He will help Diep Han and Wei Chike get it running. But even with that cash, it is not enough for the build. Wei Chike feels totally crushed by the news. Meanwhile, Diep Han's mother is showing a massive improvement. Kwang Dao Dao is also still suffering from her neck issues. Diep Han treated her before, but she has not fully recovered. He suggests a massage to finish the healing process. In a moment of distraction, he accidentally touches her chest. Both of them freeze up. It is incredibly awkward. Kwang Dao Dao panics and just runs away. At the nightclub, Wei Chike shows up in a stunning dress. She makes an offer 50 million to An Hei Long. She promises to pay it all back within 1 month. An Long just smirks. He knows that is a huge amount. That is definitely not pocket change for anyone. In Ninchao, only An Hei Long has the power to help her. Wei Chike, An Long is pushing her, forcing her to down a drink. He's spiked. He doesn't hold back, leaking his vile intentions for everyone to hear. He makes his sick offer if Wei Chike spends just 1 night with him. 5 million on the table. Right then and there, she's absolutely furious at the insult. But her body is failing her fast. The drug is already sinking in, and she's losing the strength to fight back. Wei Chike tries to stand, but An Long grabs her arm, yanking her back. He pins her down, ready to force himself on her, when suddenly, a kick sends him flying across the room. It's Diep Han. Diep Han covers her with his jacket, checking to see if she's okay. Long isn't backing down. He wants blood. He demands that Diep Han pay 5 million in compensation. And on top of that, Diep Han has to break his own legs. Diep Han has zero interest in talking. He tells his guard to watch over her. Long and his thugs swarm them, looking for an easy kill, but they're completely out of their league. In a blur of motion, Diep Han wipes them all out in seconds. With his men down, Long's tune changes. He starts trying to negotiate. Diep Han doesn't budge, demanding 10 million for the medical costs and his time. That hit to his wallet is going to hurt. Long is terrified, but he's backed into a corner with no escape. He has to pay up. There is literally no other way out. Diep Han carries Wei Shike to a room, laying her down to rest. He turns to leave, but the drugs have completely taken over her mind. She's lost all control, grabbing onto him and pulling him down. And just like that, they're face to face. The next morning hits. Wei Shike wakes up to see the blood on the sheets. She realizes she's lost her most precious thing to Diep Han, and she is livid. She kicks him right out of bed, screaming at him to wake up. During breakfast, she's shy, barely able to call his name. Diep Han is calm, telling her that since she is his now, he will handle everything. Meanwhile, at the Shenlong nightclub, Long is desperate. He's hiring a gang of 4 B-tier masters to get his revenge. Even the local killers are wary of Diep Han, with Ning and Thandang both MIA. It's a tough call, but these 4 experts finally agreed to Long's request. Now that he has backup, Long is feeling untouchable again. He is absolutely brimming with twisted confidence. Diep Han is deep in his medical training when the windows suddenly shatter. Those 4 B-tier masters storm the room in a flash. They launch a brutal assault on Diep Han and Wei Shike. Diep Han grabs HEIR, dodging their attacks with perfect timing, but something is wrong. He didn't even sense them coming. Thanlone senses the attackers closing in, and suddenly she strikes. She lunges, kicking 2 of them into the dirt. But Diep Han yells out, "Someone is coming from behind." Thanlone is under fire from 4 masters. The group leader spots his chance and makes a clean break for it. Wei Shike realizes the weapons left behind are far from ordinary gear. These are mortal-shattering tier relics. But Diep Han and Thanlone, they've already walked right into a classic trap to lure the tiger off the mountain. This was all a setup from the very beginning. A stranger suddenly appears in the room, calling himself the cold-faced assassin. He lunges at Diep Han, slamming him hard, and sends him flying right into the wall. Wei Shike moves to protect Diep Han, unleashing a swift kick, but she is completely outmatched by the assassin. He brushes her aside, leaving her unconscious on the floor. The cold-faced assassin grabs Diep Han by the throat, demanding answers. He wants to know exactly how Diep Han took down the god-killing Ning, and squeezes his neck until Diep Han coughs up blood, barely hanging on. Diep Han grits his teeth and triggers the explosive technique. It is the secret skill he has been cultivating to face monsters like this. The assassin just scoffs, thinking Diep Han is nothing but a weakling, until Diep Han's power tears straight through his magical defenses. The assassin's eyes widen in pure shock. Completely caught off guard, Diep Han follows up with the heaven-shattering fist, and sends the assassin crashing to his knees. It seems like he used every last drop of his energy for that strike. As the cold-faced assassin falls, Diep Han can't take it anymore, and he collapses from pure exhaustion. When he finally opens his eyes, he's lying in a bed. Beside him, Wei Shike is there with a strange woman who looks worried. Just watch this. Things are about to get real tense. Wei Shike introduces her. This is Trio Hoan. She is the personal bodyguard for her father. Trio Hoan immediately snaps, blaming Diep Han for Wei Shike getting hurt. Wei Shike fires back instantly, defending him. It has nothing to do with Diep Han, she tells her. Trio Hoan sneers that Diep Han isn't even worthy of being near her, and that comment makes Thanlone's blood boil. Trio Hoan gloats about the Wei family legacy in Gyeongnam, 3 generations of absolute legends. She reminds them. Thanlone cuts in, asking the hard question. If they are so great, why didn't the Wei family help when Wei Shike had money troubles? Trio Hoang is left speechless, totally caught in the trap. Diep Han tries to keep the peace by offering to just leave. Trio Hoang takes the exit, storming out of the room. Diep Han knows for sure next time it will not be this easy. Any future attack won't be as lucky as today's. We need to stay on high alert after Thanlone pulls back. Wei Chike is dying to know Diep Han's true identity, but she still doesn't believe he's really the young master of the Diep family. Pushing her curiosity aside, Wei Chike brings some food over. She sits with Diep Han and starts feeding him herself. Once the medicine is ready, the jade talisman is brought to him. Diep Han's internal energy was heavily damaged during the fight, so when he tries to channel it through the talisman, the effort leaves him in pain. Wei Chike blames herself, thinking if she were at the profound realm, then Diep Han wouldn't have to suffer like this. Diep Han gently tells her that her body can still break through. She just needs to balance the yin and yang energy within. He suggests they cultivate together using internal arts to heal. This helps him recover his strength. Wei Chike takes off her robe, ready to merge her energy with his. They cultivate together in perfect harmony. It goes on until Diep Han is completely drained, but the effort pays off. His power and focus are sharper than ever. Now he's confident enough to face anyone coming for him. Suddenly, Wei Chike's grandfather requests a meeting with Diep Han. He agrees, mainly because he wants to check on his mother at the hospital. Her health is finally showing real signs of improvement. She's doing so well that the doctors finally clear her. She gets to leave the hospital at last. Diep Han wants to move her into a better place, but she refuses. She insists the old house is fine and tells him not to waste money. Then Wei Chike shows up in tears, bearing some unexpected news. Her grandfather wants to hand over the Ningqiao Commercial Plaza project. Diep Han is furious and goes straight to confront Old Man V. Apparently, Wei Chike's second uncle thinks the Diep heir gave the project to Bang Fai, but Chu Han Thien hasn't provided any funding. It feels like the Diep family isn't backing the project at all. Wei Chike is sobbing, feeling powerless to go against her grandfather. Diep Han is dead set against giving up the project. Trio Ho An steps in, cocky, thinking her profound realm status is enough. She warns Diep Han to walk away before it is too late. Diep Han just smiles. Go ahead and try it. She attacks, but her strikes don't even make him flinch. Diep Han counters instantly. He hits her so hard she coughs up blood, right in front of the shocked second uncle and Old Man V. Blood spat everywhere, leaving Uncle Hai in absolute shock, and Uncle V was just as stunned. Seeing Diep Han firmly block him, Elder Wei finally spills the secret. He is actually healed, but he has been faking his condition the whole time. He needed to see which members of the V family were actually loyal. Only Wei Chike is a truly good granddaughter. But honestly, the V family needs a total internal purge right now, so the project definitely isn't the top priority for them at the moment. Hearing that explanation from Elder V, Diep Han gets absolutely furious. It is cold choosing to sacrifice others just to clean house. He brings up that 100 million debt V Bang owes, without help. It seems like both the uncle and Elder V, they are both terrified of Chu Han Thien and his power. Wei Chike breaks down crying outside the hospital park. Diep Han comforts her with a warm kiss. Then her phone rings. It is An Long calling, and she immediately starts shouting at him. Turns out, An Long is only calling to apologize for everything. He actually wants to help her out now. But you know, in her heart, there is still a lot of suspicion toward him. Than Lone is waiting for Diep Han and Wei Chike at the door. She asks Diep Han how he wants to organize the bodyguards. Diep Han needs to go somewhere and wants Than Lone to follow him. Watching Than Lone walk away, he starts thinking about her. To truly win her over, he knows he needs much higher strength. Out in the suburbs of Ningqiao, at a massive villa, An Long enthusiastically invites Diep Han and Wei Chike to sit. Diep Han ignores the fake warmth and cuts straight to the point. He demands the 100 million in cash right now. Unexpectedly, An Long signals his men to attack Diep Han, and here is where things get messy. Watch this. They are 3 assassins at the Vanishing Realm who attacked him before. All 3 rush him at once, but Than Lone steps in. She unleashes a move that sends all 3 of them coughing blood. One of them finally recognizes Than Lone right there, knowing she is a martial arts grandmaster. They start kowtowing. They threaten that if he kills them, the higher-ups will send real experts. Diep Han coldly cripples that guy's cultivation on the spot. He dares Than Dang to come find him personally next time. And just like that, Diep Han takes the 100 million back. Success. On the way home, Wei Chike and Diep Han talk. They discuss martial artists and the power they actually hold. Diep Han learns that Elder Wei is also a minor expert, and Than Lone has trained to such a terrifyingly deep level. She is strong enough to start her own sect. Diep Han thinks to himself that the road to winning her over It is still a very long way off. VGK is still worried about Than Dang coming back for them and causing even more trouble. Diep Han is calm, offering comfort to Thoi Jian. This time, Than Dang won't dare show his face again. Not while Diep Han has a martial arts master guarding his side. VGK speaks softly, gently inviting Diep Han back to her place or somewhere private for some fun. It is like flipping a switch. Diep Han speeds off like he is flying, pulling into a nearby park to get down to business. The day comes for Diep Han's mother to be discharged. But the nurse, seeing her off, is someone else. Not Kwang Dao Dao. Diep Han wonders where she could be. He decides to call her. But on the other end, Kwang Dao Dao's voice sounds terrified, drowned out by men's voices. Diep Han has a sinking feeling about where she is. She is at some bar, and given her personality, she would never be in a place like that. So he knows something terrible has happened. Diep Han demands her location, tells his mother to stay safe, and rushes off to track Kwang Dao Dao down. He arrives at 8th and Bar, and Diep Han witnesses Kwang Dao Dao being cornered by An Hailang's crew, humiliated on stage, forced to perform seductive dances. An Long is pressuring Kwang Dao Dao to sleep with him for one night, promising to wipe away the debt she owes. But how could Kwang Dao Dao trust the wicked nature of a man like him? She refuses. An Lang flies into a rage, rushing at her to force himself on her. But Diep Han leaps in, kicking him flying. Kwang Dao Dao is sobbing. Her father is sick in the hospital, and because she could not afford the bills, she borrowed money from An Lang, with 50,000 still left to pay. So he is forcing her to do these twisted things. Diep Han gently drapes his jacket over Kwang Dao Dao and warns An Lang's men, giving them a 10-second head start to disappear. An Lang, too stubborn, orders his men to attack. But one by one, they are all taken down by Diep Han. An Hailang is so terrified he ditches his men to save his own skin. Diep Han offers to take Kwang Dao Dao home. He notices how high her heels are, so he scoops her up and carries her out to the car. Once she is inside, Diep Han gently massages her feet to help. Kwang Dao Dao winces from the pain, her face twisting in agony. Diep Han asks what happened, learning her father is currently short on funds for his final surgery. So he makes her an offer. Kun Jiao Jiao should move in and take care of him. His mother agrees to pay 10,000 a month. It is a solid amount, enough for Kwang Dao Dao to finally cover her father's medical bills. She is stunned by the cash he is putting on the table. She agrees. At the hospital dormitory, Kwang Dao Dao hesitates. She just cannot let Diep Han leave like that. So she invites him upstairs to rest. He does not turn her down. The next morning at the park, Diep Han and Than Lan are training hard. Mid-routine. Then, suddenly, Chu Hangtian shows up. He rolls in with a pack of bodyguards, demanding to see the young master. His tone? Completely disrespectful. Than Lan is disgusted by Chu Hangtian's attitude. He shows zero respect for the young master. It is honestly infuriating. Chu Hangtian is here to pressure Diep Han into stepping down. Just give up the position, he says, or get assassinated. He claims Diep Han could still keep some benefits if he just walks away. Diep Han just mocks him. Is he really worried about his safety? Or is he the one actually planning the hit? It is a tense standoff. Chu Hangtian brought Loi Kang along just to threaten them. He is banking on the intimidation factor, but Diep Han refuses to back down. He challenges them right there. Adwell. 10 days from now. If he wins, Chu Hangtian obeys him. Every single order. But if Diep Han loses, he gives up the young master title for good. The stakes are massive. Chu Hangtian is practically laughing. He accepts the challenge immediately. He thinks he has already won. Than Lone knows the truth. Loi Kang has been an expert for years. His power is deep. 10 days is not enough for Diep Han to bridge that gap. She is worried sick, but she stands by him. They agree to train together day and night. No holding back. Soon after, an invitation arrives from Trun Fai. She wants him to see her private villa. She greets him warmly. Diep Han cannot help but notice her vibe. Trun Fai has this mix of beauty and raw, powerful energy. Honestly, only Than Lone even comes close to her presence. Trun Fai confesses she wants to sell the place fast. Why? Because the villa is haunted. She is terrified to stay there. Diep Han had no clue about any of this. Trun Fai is furious with the broker for hiding the truth. But Diep Han, he still wants to take a look inside. She leads him straight to the room that keeps everyone up at night. Every evening, there are weird noises and strange, chilling sights. She keeps on explaining. But something feels off. The person she invited is a guy who calls himself Master Lack. Just one look at him and Diep Han already knows. The guy is a total fraud. This master claims the evil spirit in the room is massive. He says it will turn into a soul-eating demon any second. But Diep Han shuts him down. It is just yin energy. And the way this fraud handles it will only make things worse. To prove he is the real deal, the master struts into the room. He locks the door, leaving Diep Han and Tran Fai outside. But not even 3 seconds pass before he loses it. He starts screaming about ghosts and crawls out shaking in terror. Seeing the disappointment on Tran Fai's face, Diep Han speaks up. He explains the room holds an object radiating pure yin, combined with the feng shui layout. It is enough to cause hallucinations. Diep Han tells the master and Tran Fai to wait by the door. He activates his heavenly eye to see the source. And there it is, the yin energy pouring out of that sword. Diep Han uses the water and fire technique to crush it. He tears through the yin aura until it is completely gone. With the danger cleared, he tells Tran Fai to deal with the blade. Or, if Tran Fai wants, he can handle it himself. To repay Diep Han for his help, Tran Fai makes a generous offer. He promises to lower the price if Diep Han buys this house. After some back and forth, they seal the deal. Tran Fai decides to just hand the cursed sword over to Diep Han. It is the perfect item for Diep Han to absorb right now. This might just be the key to helping him break past his mortal limits. Meanwhile, Fan Lone finally tracks down the spirit grass Diep Han needed. She is bringing it back exactly as he requested, but on the road back, things take a sudden, dark turn. 2 cars swerve out, cutting them off and boxing them in. Sensing the danger, Fan Lone signals Diep Han to bail out. Just in time, a hail of bullets tears through their car. Diep Han barely dodges the gunfire as they scramble for cover. A blonde guy steps out and warns Fan Lone to back off. He tells her to stay out of it if she wants to keep her life. Fan Lone ignores the threat and dives right into the fray. Their attackers rush them, weaponized and ready to kill. It is looking grim. The enemies are everywhere and armed with guns. Fan Lone does not hesitate, charging headfirst into the fight. She clashes with the blonde leader, their strength perfectly matched. He laughs it off, introducing himself as James of the Teen La Mercenaries. He is here for a payday 10 million to bring Diep Han back. Fan Lone realizes Diep Han is not strong enough to hold them off. Watch this, things are about to get real ugly. Real fast. With his mortal cultivation reaching its limit, he risked everything. The mercenary captain barked the kill order, desperate to finish him. Kill Ye Han. A single deafening crack, a bullet punched straight into Ye Han's chest. Qing Luan broke down in tears, sobbing as she begged for forgiveness. She failed to protect him, convinced he was already gone. But suddenly, Ye Han's eyes flickered open. Qing Luan rushed him to the desperate to save him. Because of his quick thinking, the bullet missed his heart. He barely escaped death. Cheating the Reaper. One more time. Someone clearly leaked the intel, leading the Tianlua mercenaries right to him. That was the only way they could have tracked Ye Han down. Master Su told Ye Han to handle it himself, since he's playing the role of young Master Ye. Qing Luan couldn't interfere forever, so Ye Han had to be careful. He made his way to Wei Jishi's place to refine a body-tempering liquid. He needed that breakthrough to push his cultivation to the next tier. Watch closely, this is where the real power-up begins. They both stepped into the vat, the liquid soaking into their skin. A moment later, they could both feel that surging energy rising within them. Ye Han pulled Wei Jixi into a deep kiss to celebrate their progress. A sweet moment. But the tension was only just starting to mount. Over at his office, Chu Xingtian already seemed to know about the hit. Ye Han survived the ambush, but he wasn't going to let it slide. Unlike last time, he walked right up to their doorstep, just as promised. He arrived to spar with Lu Gang. As expected, Lu Gang tried a dirty move, attempting to ambush him, but Ye Han caught the strike, pushing Lu Gang back with ease. Chu Xingtian looked genuinely shocked. He didn't expect that kind of power. Ye Han caught his arm and drove a knee into him. Lu Gang flew into the wall, completely defeated in one move. Ye Han only had one goal: find out who pulled the strings. Who ordered Chu Xingtian to take him out? Chu Xingtian wouldn't fold. So Ye Han played his trump card. He targeted Chu Xingtian's biggest secret. His deepest weakness. The man was completely unable to have children. Ye Han already had a hunch about the leak. Qing Luan bought the hidden spirit grass at that secret auction. And that's exactly when the Tianluo mercenaries showed up to kill him. Chu Xingtian finally spilled the beans under pressure. The Liu family hosted that auction to hoard all the rare treasures. They wanted everything for themselves, no matter the cost. Ye Han ordered Chu Xingtian to send a message to the Liu family. Tell them to get ready, he was coming for them very soon. At the Liu estate, they got word that a VIP was arriving. Old man Liu warned everyone to show the proper respect. Ingyi with the young master. But they seem pretty hesitant. Not willing to talk, but Diep Han knows the auction was actually handled by Lu Diep personally. Diep Han asks him straight who bought the unlin herb. Lu Diep snaps back. Harsh and defensive. He claims it's impossible to leak any customer information. Diep Han drops his voice, growling, "You're the one who bought it. And when I got hit by an assassin on the way home, you really think the Lu family can just walk away from this?" Lu Diep still won't crack. So Diep Han just slaps him hard. Lu Diep immediately orders his men to attack. They swarm Diep Han, but with his current strength, dealing with this crowd is like a walk in the park. Once he clears them out, Diep Han grabs Lu Diep by the throat. Now he's finally ready to spill the truth about the herb. Turns out, the unlin herb wasn't even in the auction to begin with. Someone brought it in, promising all profit to the Lu family. The guy didn't even want a single cent from the deal. Lu Diep agreed to take it on. That's all, since he wasn't getting paid. Lu Diep didn't bother checking the seller's identity or anything like that. Checking the cameras is a dead end. So Diep Han tracks the herb itself. The search for the unlin herb continues. Shamed, Lu Diep decides to refund every cent from that sale. He just wants out of the crossfire. For now, the Thienla mercenary group has headed overseas. They won't be making a move on Diep Han for a while. But he's hunting the seller to find the mastermind behind everything. Diep Han calls a contact, and the lead points him elsewhere. Seems like the herb has been popping up at the Kudin market recently. Along the way, Diep Han gets some intel on his family. Diep Thien Kyo is talented, the perfect heir to the Diep family. Could Thien Kyo be the one who tried to kill him for the throne? Diep Han is suspicious. Thang Lon stays quiet, because he doesn't know much about Thien Kyo either. Still, as a master, why would he even pull something like this? It doesn't add up. At the Kudin market, in the city of medicine, Diep Han stops by a local shop. Listening for clues about the herb, he's closing in on whoever sold that unlin herb. Then, a familiar voice calls out, "It's Tran Phi." Diep Han is pretty surprised to run into her here. Tran Phi explains she's just here to pick up some medicine. She hasn't been feeling well lately, not at all. Diep Han is trouble. And Vuong Chio knows it. He tries to warn her. Stay away from Diep Han, he tells her. But Tran Phi just brushes it off. She ignores the advice, focusing entirely on getting her prescription filled. The problem? They're running low on Dai Keech and Duong Kwai roots. So, the shop tells Tran Phi to come back again tomorrow morning. But Diep Han's medical expertise kicks in. He spots the issue instantly. These two herbs clash. And mixing them? That's going to wreck her health. His warning reaches Master Hong, who is standing right there. Listening, Diep Han doesn't stop, adding that Dai Keech is meant to reduce inflammation. Meanwhile, Duong Kwai is for blood tonics. They should never be paired. The patient will suffer, he insists. Until Master Hong snaps and roars at him. I have decades of experience. The master shouts. Do you think I'm a fraud? How could a brat like you know more than me? He demands. Tran Phi tries to pull Diep Han away to avoid a scene, but he refuses, since he's doing this for her. Diep Han stands his ground. He wants the truth. Gai Thuong knows Master Hong holds a high status, and they can't offend him, but Diep Han isn't backing down. Openly calling the old man a quack, he pushes further, challenging Master Hong to test his own prescription. If I am wrong, Diep Han promises, I will apologize on the spot. Master Hong grabs a dog to be the test subject for his medicine. The dog laps up the bowl of liquid, wagging its tail and looking fine. Vuong Chier smirks, feeling smug as he watches the scene unfold. But only seconds later, the dog collapses and starts thrashing on the ground. The animal has been poisoned, and terror washes over the entire room. Vong Xie accused Diep Han of sabotage, but he fires back immediately. Master Hong's own team prepared the mixture, so there was no room for tricks. Diep Han explains the first issue: human strength is greater than a dog's. The dog shows vomiting, but internally, the damage is already irreversible. Then there's the second factor: we're entering autumn, which shifts the risks. Diep Han nails the exact timing behind why this prescription failed so badly. Suspecting Master Hong misdiagnosed the case, Diep Han takes over. He checks Tran Fai's pulse himself, sensing the real underlying issue. It's a classic case of qi deficiency, which the master completely missed. Master Hong is humiliated, and in his rage, he demands a formal contest. He wants a medical duel tomorrow, where the subject stays secret until the end. To get his revenge, Master Hong cuts off the Dinthin group's access. He withholds his secret formula, aiming to punish them for the insult. But Diep Han and Tran Fai don't regret a thing. They stood their ground, even knowing the fallout will hit them hard. They refuse to back down. Watching from the shadows, Vuong Xiao lets out a twisted, chilling grin. No way he was handing over that secret formula to Din Thin. He saw it as fitting punishment for them. Diep Han and Tran Thi have zero regrets about humiliating Master Hong, even knowing the massive fallout coming their way afterward. Vuong Xiao cracked a nasty, twisted smile. Something was being calculated. A plan set in motion. A total stranger snapped photos of Diep Han and Tran Fai. The intel leaked fast, and Captain James is absolutely certain. He thinks he killed Diep Han with his own 2 hands. But a mysterious man is furious, threatening the captain. If James doesn't fix this, that mysterious man will take his head. This stranger isn't just using James to target Diep Han. He has another plan, something even more dangerous. He talks about a weapon, calling it a gentle knife, one that's meant to drive deep into Diep Han's heart. Back at the restaurant, Diep Han is praising Tran Fai nonstop. Meanwhile, Vuong Xiao is mocking him, full of cold disdain. Vuong Xiao knows all of Tran Fai's secrets, and he's using them. He's forcing Tran Fai to obey every single word he says. Vuong Xiao's ready, signaling his men to rush Diep Han. He wants him taken down right now. But the guys he called, they don't stand a chance. Not even close. One of his men finally realizes the truth. They ask who they picked a fight with, some top-tier master. Vuong Xiao just stammers, terrified. Then Diep Han snaps. He breaks Vuong Xiao's left leg in a flash. In agony, Vuong Xiao can only sit there, completely helpless. Diep Han and Tran Fai just walk out of that place. Diep Han feels guilty, like he's ruined Tran Fai's normal life, even though she keeps insisting she's fine, that it's all okay. She says she's got a plan to handle everything. Diep Han decides to give her a secret formula, totally free. Think of it as his way of making things right. He lets Tran Fai try out his special rejuvenation recipe. It's powerful stuff, and there's more to it than just that. When she rubs it on, even her scars start to fade away. Tran Fai leans in and kisses him. Right there. It's her way of saying thanks for giving her a new path. Just as things get intimate between them, the mood breaks. Her phone rings. She has to take an urgent call, a video conference, and she has to settle everything. The issues with the new product line can't wait. Over at Master Hong's place, he's having a shock of his own. He never expected his disciple to find him such a catch. A woman this high quality? He's already completely head over heels. But then, Tuyet Hong Lone suddenly snaps, gripping his throat. He's gasping for air, screaming as his vision starts to fade. His bodyguards rush in, but Tuyet Hong Lone is ready. She releases a cloud of fine, toxic dust into the air, and just like that, the guards can't breathe anymore. Grandmaster Hong panics the moment he realizes her true identity. Tuyet Hong Lone is one of the 4 legendary assassins of Thondang. She orders Hong to use her deadly poison at the competition tomorrow. He has to make Diep Han drink it. No room for refusal. Hong refuses immediately. He just cannot bring himself to kill anyone. But Tuyet Hong Lone has other plans for the boy. She wants Diep Han alive, and she wants every one of his secrets. The next day, at the Nagu Chan Duong, the competition begins. Hong sets the rules. Both must use identical ingredients for their concoctions. They will craft both a poison and an antidote from scratch. Each will drink the other one's poison and then try to find a cure. A few moments later, Hong and Diep Han finish their lethal brews. Hong secretly slips in the poison that Tuyet Hong Lone gave him. He's nervous. He knows exactly what he just added to the cup. Both men down the drinks, 10 minutes pass. But something is wrong. Neither of them shows a single sign of being poisoned. Hong starts to panic because his plan is failing right before his eyes. That poison didn't even scratch Diep Han. Diep Han just smirks. He tells the Grandmaster to worry about his own health instead. No sooner does he say it than Hong lets out a massive audible fart. The poor man loses all his dignity in front of the entire crowd. That is all for this part of the story. Everyone, if you enjoyed it, please hit that like button and share it around. Your support gives us the energy to keep bringing you more great content.